You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. Good evening, Jambo, Jambo, Jambo. Good evening to you Africans worldwide. This is the Pan-African Daily TV hosting on this exclusive day. Usually we don't open on Mondays, as you all know, but because of the recent happenings on the continent, we are here today to listen to Africans worldwide, what they think about the current situation in Guinea, CONAKRY. We heard about this recent coup d'etat that took place early yesterday morning. And we already had King Maponga Joshua, who was here with us last night, and we discussed shortly about it. But we see today the whole international media talking about it. You won't even, just tune even the radio. And you begin to ask yourself, wait a minute. What is it so special? There are a lot of important things that have been happening on the continent of Africans, and nobody even cares. There are a lot of murdering, incarceration, and even governments that have been doing this over and over and over, and nobody is talking. The world is being mute. This is not the first time that we're hearing that a president changed a constitution or has been in power, but what is going on? But one thing we know and we are for sure is the change has come to Africa. The change that Africans have been anticipating, particularly the young Africans, it is right now. Whatever situation is happening, nothing is new. As a matter of fact, there is nothing that is absolutely new. The only thing that makes a difference is we African people don't change. We don't learn from current issues. For instance, we see the whole of Guinea today, or since last night, Guineans are full over the street, the ones that are celebrating. It reminds you of the same time when they elected this incumbent president. And it's the same time they went on the street, they celebrated, and they were jumping and carrying, flags all over the time. And now something happened. And the same Africans again, we are on the street and we're talking. When are we going to learn? Today, we want to know what kind of system actually works for Africa. You can change presidents as much as you can. It can be a coup d'etat. It can be whatever we call it. But nothing is going to change until Africans would redefine what is good for them. What kind of leadership style they want. I had a conversation early this morning because since last night we've been looking for guest speakers to host, but we decided to say no, we want to listen to the young people, we want to listen to Africans worldwide. What is your opinion about what is happening? We're almost at the middle or to the end of this year. There have been 3 serious coup d'etat that has been taking place on the continent. It's all started with Chad. And after everything, what happens? As the situation in Chad changed, right? And then we moved over to Mali. And the whole noise, and we danced and celebrated. Oh, no, we have a new president and this and this and that. And what happened? Has the situation in Mali changed? That's what Africans want to know. When we post it, or the whole world is ranting, Africans are busy asking the question, and so what? Yes, we are sick and tired of the same news. Nothing is going to change. The living conditions of the young people, the unemployment rate, whether it's who that stays there. But I want to borrow the words of Maponga Joshua King Marara. Yesterday, he said something very, very critical and very pertinent and very important. And that's what Africans should be paying attention to. What did Maponga say yesterday? Yes, he said, I don't have a problem with a leadership that stays long, and in as much as it works in the interest of the people. And he made reference to the leadership in Rwanda today. So if the Rwandans are happy with the president, they can stay there as long as they want. I mean, we're coming from a system of a kingdom where, just like we have other kingdoms existing. So our question tonight, we'll be listening to Africans worldwide. We're opening calls, and we also have a special guest that would be here in the studio with us just to listen and take your questions. There are questions that you want to ask strategically. But we want to focus not only on this one is new, oh no, this one is coming, oh no, this one was too old, or not. We want to ask a very simple questions to Africans worldwide. Is democracy, what we call democracy, a model that would function in Africa? And if it has to function, how is it like? When we threw that research question, what kind of leadership are Africans anticipating? We've been hearing a lot of Africans saying, oh no, it will never work. It's the same thing. It's like the same trousers, but with two different pockets, right? You know, whether it's in this one or in this one, it's the same trousers. So we want to hear, because the Pan-African Daily TV, we're not here to cook some news, to cook some information, to brainwash you on what you should dream to see or what you should expect to see, or now there's going to be something new or something that you should be celebrating. No, we don't do that. What we do on the Pan-African Daily TV, and it's exactly the voices of Africans worldwide, we listen to you. What is it that you have as a solution on the table? Something has just happened. It's not the first time it's happening. It is not even the last time that would happen. What is it that we see that is a model that we change? It is not the first coup d'etat that is happening. But the question tonight is democracy, the value that would function for Africa. Yes, no, why not? What kind of leadership would work for Africa? Now I know our guest is comfortable sitting right here in the studio, and he is the expert and a diplomat on that. He's just going to, like I said, it's an open conversation. All of you are my guests today, because it's not like somebody is going to be lecturing you. It's not a lecture. Today is not a lecture. Today is an open conversation where the whole of Africa should sit up, should sit at the seat of the table and begin to ask critical questions, and not dance, and not only celebrate, and not drum. And you drum today and tomorrow is going to be the same thing. Aren't we tired of just dancing at every single thing? Every little thing we excite, we're so emotional. Can't we just maybe for a while wait? Just wait. And listen, put your ears on the ground like our mothers and fathers used to say. Just pull it down, chill, Africans, chill. It's not everything that you dance and celebrate. Tomorrow is going to be the same thing, and we're going to start. But the thing is, what is the root cause? What kind of leadership do Africans want? What kind of leadership is suitable that would be sustainable for Africa, for a global Africa? Yes. So we are here live in studio with Al Wahab. Al Wahab, thank you so much for joining us as our expert tonight to take questions. And we are just going to listen to Africans share their opinion with us. What is it that they think is going on in Africa? What has been going on for long? What would change in Guinea that did not change in Mali, that did not change in Chad, that is not changing in Cameroon, that is not changing in Uganda? What is it that will make the difference? So we want to hear Africans. I already shared the in-call number. So I hope all of you have put your credit, you have popped your phones, because it's not about just sitting on social media and sharing posts and commenting. We want you to talk. We want to hear you rise up and take up your place to develop Africa. It's your right. It's your continent. Yeah, it's your continent. Whether it's going down, all of us are going down. The world is going down. Whether it's going up, all of us are going up. So it's very important that it's not a one-man show. It is not a presidential show. It is a collective show. So what is your contribution? What is it that pains you? What is it that makes you happy to say something is going to change this time around. So we have our expert here. He's just going to give a little, just a little, let me just say, just introduce it. We've been seeing the pictures. We don't know, maybe the stories that are there. Everyone is cooking his own story and saying something else. Want to listen to our expert, Al Wahab. Al Wahab, good evening, my diplomat.
Good. How are you?
I'm so happy you are here because, I mean, for the past 2 days, I couldn't reach you. You've been from one talk show to the other. All the experts are all gone. They're either speaking somewhere on this present situation. So what are you people discussing on these talk shows or on national TV about the situation in Africa right now, Guinea-Conakry?
Well, good evening, and then also good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers. It's been pretty a little bit time now that we've not been able to speak. Yes, indeed. Today, for instance, I've been bombarded already with about 10 interviews. And still, as I speak to you now, there are calls on the back, which are from different radio networks and then TV networks around and across both Africa and Ghana, respectively. Well, it is the matter in perspective, the matter pending, which is typically, as you are aware, overthrow or take over or topple of the Guinean government, i.e. Alpha Conde's government of Guinea. The historical background of that particular country is a bit interesting, a very complex one. Complex one and interesting one in the sense that post-independent West Africa, i.e. the French colony Guinea, which initially had a problem with the France being the masters. You would recall that the sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana being the first country more or less to get the independence in 1957. At that time, there was no French West Africa that has dreamt of an independence. But looking at the friendship between the Ghana president, Kwame Nkrumah, who then was 48 years, surprisingly had a friend called Sekou Touré, who was only 36 years. Sekou was 36 years, as at the time, 1958. So when Nkrumah got Ghana's independent in 1957, there was a hard pressure from Sekou on the French. And then the French gave him the independence in 1958. At that time, La Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, Niger, the French West Africa, all of them. So the pressure of Sekou angered the France. And then they waited until 1960 when they bundled all the West African and the Central African countries and gave them independence. But with a price to pay by the Guineans that they will not be allowed to join the French community of the West Africa. And for that matter, you're talking about even the currency, CFA, they didn't allow them to join. It is not like the Guineans didn't want to join. The French didn't want to allow them because of their friendship more or less with Kwame Nkrumah and the early awareness that the French wanted, the Guineans wanted an independence. So it is a country with such kind of initial turbulences post-independence because France left them more or less like an orphan. So look at 36-year-old boy at the time of colonial era. All the leaders, post-independent or the independent freedom fighters or the Pan-Africanists, none of them was at the age of 36. They were all men in their 50s, more than 50s, 60s, who were fighting for independence. The youngest one among them was Sekou Touré. When he got the independence in 1958, he stayed in power for 26 good years. So 1958 to 1984, he died on the seat. When he died, Lassana Conde, who was then also 50 years, also took power and stayed in power also for 24 years as a military man. France didn't care. Nobody did care. But the Guineans were more or less maybe comfortable with the military regime 26 years, 24 years. So the history at that time was 50 years all in the military hands. Now, when Lassana Conte, also died in 2008. When he also died in 2008, Sekuba Konate, who took also power, lasted for 1 year. I would say that he was the beginner or the person who initiated the move for Guinea to have, how do we call it, a democratic government. Let us not forget that at that time, the same Alpha Conde
Okay. I hope what we're anticipating is not going to get here. I think yes, he is freezing. He's freezing out there. Network issues, because you can hear his phone has been ringing 24/7. And like he said, the whole since yesterday, they've just been jungling from one show to the other. I hope he's going to join us back shortly. So I'm going to open the lines while we're waiting. If you have a comment or something to throw, what is going to change? There's still going to be poverty, less development, illnesses, hunger, joblessness. What is going to change? Whether they change leadership, what is going to change? That's what I wanted us to go deep into this history, to understand first where we're coming from and all the steps up to now. I don't know whether it is overthrowing a government and in this kind of a way. That's what Africans are saying. What is it that would change Africans? It is your time. It is your time to redesign the Africa that we all want. It is your time to rise up the young people to ask yourself a lot of questions. What is it that is not adding up? What is it that is not working? Something is just not functioning. And it doesn't matter whether we change trousers on the same skin. Something is just not adding up. Let us wake up. What is happening, Africa? Hello?
Hello. Hi, my sister. How you doing?
Fine. Thank you, brother. Welcome to the show.
All right. My name is Daphne. I'm calling from Texas.
Thank you.
All right. I like your question. You said what's going to change? The only thing that's going to change, let's kick out democracy out of those continents. You know, democracy can never work for us. You know, it's not going to work. This is not our own system. You know, we're going to go back into history and learn the way our forefathers used to live. You know, so these people have divided us. So even the guy that took power, I don't think we got to trust him. You know, just follow his track record. You know, even his family relationship. You know, I'm from the Maningo tribe. You know, Alpha Conde, Dumbuya, we're all from the same tribe and from the same region, Kanka. You know, so I don't think there's anything going to change. We got to go back to the way our forefathers used to live, like, you know, so we can pick it up from there. That's a system of government. But democracy is not going to work for us. It's not going to work. Just like the professor was explaining, you know, the way secretary used to lead the country, Lansana Conte, they used to do better than since we got democracy in Guinea. You know, there's nothing going to work out. Let's just kick out democracy and fight. You know, you can't just be changing power. After 4 years, bring somebody else. After 8 years, bring somebody else. There's no changes about that. You know, it's not gonna work. You know, power is like a marriage. You know, like find somebody that's gonna sit right there, make sure you did the work. If you don't do the work, kick him out and bring somebody else. But not just after every 4 years, bring somebody else. After 5 years or 8 years, bring somebody else. How long gonna be living like that? Look at these Arab countries. Look at them, Saudi Arabia. Why they can't just tell them to bring democracy over there? Kuwait. These Arab people, they have democracy. They don't have it. Even Morocco, there's no democracy in Morocco.
Thank you so much.
This country that don't have democracy.
Yes.
Look at the way they live.
Okay.
Even in America, it's not a democratic country. So we got a long way to go. You know, we just have to get the hell out of this democracy shit and find somebody and put him right there, honest, and he's gonna work for the people. If he passed away, bring somebody else. If you don't work good, then kick him out. and bring somebody up collectively.
Thank you very much.
I can stop from right here.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're still going to open the line. Like I say, it's an open case, but we have a guest that was trying to educate us. Thank you for giving us that feedback. And yes, thank you so much. We are still going to open the lines. Let's just get to the history, and so that we understand, you know, most of us don't even know the history of Africa. We don't even know where Guinea Conakry is. I saw people posting, I'm like, where's that, right? What is happening on your end?
Okay. Like I was saying, you recall that I made a point as to when Guinea by secretary for 26 years, and then also Lassana Conte, Konate came for 1 year. Okay, so he made sure that there was an elections. And you recall that the same Alpha Conde, he has been chasing the Guinea presidency for how many years? Over 40 years, trying to say that yes, he's democratic enough and he will be the man to bring democracy to Guinea. And for that matter, he had the massive and the massive support. So when Sekuba Konate gave him power after elections in 2009, December 2010, he became the president. Yes, the day mandate, the day session, the true mandate, and then no return was still what was the Guinean constitution. But what did we see? Right after the first term and the second term, and let us not forget that Alpha Conde contested in 1993 against Lassana Conte, and then he also contested in 1998 against Lassana Conte that he lost. So when he had come to power in 2010, the expectations of his age at that time, about 74 years, one would have expected that yes, Guineans need nothing but job. They need nothing than infrastructure. They need to build Dixon Paul. They need to build Caporo. They need to build Ente. They need to build Medina A. The whole Guinea. And if you look at Guinea, consistently, and then under the 10 years, if the agitation started when he tried that you go for the third time, whichever means it has happened also in Cote d'Ivoire and other places.
It's so sad that, you know, he keeps freezing out there, and but we hope that he's going to come back to us live. And yes, if you have comments and questions, I think this will be the right time while we sort out. We know the situation with power, particularly out there, is always the problem, particularly now that all lines are busy and everybody is on the internet or digitally. We're all active right now, trying to find out what is happening where, and the news is on. The Africa is on hot pot right now, and you know, these are the kind of things that you see all the people celebrate. And when they celebrate and they're sharing it everywhere and they're happy about the news, you know, and then it becomes news. But the question is, what has changed? What would change? That is what Africans should be thinking. You should focus on what is it that has changed. We should stop just dancing at everything all the time. Sometimes let's just wait first, give some time, and then the right decisions are made, and then we jump up to the street. It's part of our culture, but our culture is also to learn, and to learn from the past. And when we keep repeating the past and expecting that the past happen without us changing and going back to actually who we are as Africans. What is it that works for us? What is it that doesn't work for us? And we begin to, you know, pave our way, like the brother that called and was saying. Even look at China. I mean, what kind of democracy? What do they believe in? Is the country, are they not creating? Are they not developing? Is the technology not exploding? What is wrong with Africa? That is what we want to learn today. Your opinion counts, and every African voices worldwide count to the development and the change on this present Africa. It is time, Africa, wake up. Thank you. You're back in the studio. Back to you.
Yes. So, like I was saying, when Alpha Conde tried continuously, consistently to tell the Guineans that I'm old, I have 74 years. What do I need? I don't need anything. I want to give life to Guinea. I want to give them democracy. I want to do this. I want to do that. So 10 years rule. The Guineans are measuring what you said and what you did in the 10 years. Now, I don't have a problem, like many others, how long you stay in power. Necessarily, I wouldn't care. Lee Kuan Yew had a vision, and Lee Kuan Yew was undemocratic. He didn't have a democracy with the with Singaporeans. Ahmed didn't have democracy with Malaysians. And you rightly said, Chairman Mao, to the extent that he even closed and locked down universities in China and all the professors, he said, I will never give democratic, political democracy, but I will seek to give you economic democracy. Lee Kuan Yew said that leave me to stay longer in power. I'll steal you the longer I stay in power, much I will give to the country, much as I have, long as I have the vision. So, Alpha Conde, in my view, who talked about military rule of Guinea that he was strictly against, who initiated the move of this particular special forces. It was him who trained Mamadi Doumbouya. It was him who took the boy to France School of War to go and train and expertise in that academy. He took him to Cyprus to expertise in military strategies, resistance, etc. He took him to Israel to complete a full course in military academy and other specialities. And he took him to Royal Army in UK also to train him. Now, a democratic government, quote unquote, of Lassana Conde, Alpha Conde, made sure that he has strengthened the Republicans' guard. But between you and I and the Western understanding, countries like United States, France, Germany, other countries that have been superpower, they built Republicans' guard to give a backup to their military or in terms of emergency, i.e., including natural disasters. Small country like Guinea, Alpha Conde has invested hugely in the Republicans' guard. For what? He invested hugely in these special forces, more than the Guinean army. And he gave them the strength, the power, especially Mamadi Doumbouya. So, if he respected him, and Mamadi Doumbouya was not giving instruction, was not reporting to the Guinea military, let's say, hierarchy or the higher command, he was reporting direct to Alpha Conde himself. So if you have a special forces, and when he tried to go, and as he did in the third mandate or the third term, and then there was an elections and the Guinean says that it was flawed. What was done? The same special forces and the military and the police, the Republican Guard, he used them to unleash pressure, beatings, etc., on the people of Guinea. So, my question is that, who trained, who gave the energies, the firepower, the weaponry, the ammunitions, the arms, which the special forces had? A democratic government, so-called, a democratic president, so-called, Alpha Conde, supported and gave these boys the power. So, that is the father and son, more or less. So he coming because he doesn't take instruction from the military army commander. So going to the presidential palace, he had no problem. And the boy's specialized role, he can fight under any condition and control risk while he's in control, and his troops will be on head. These are the training he went in Israel. So to go to the palace, the people at the guard, at the entrance, at the gate, at the palace, they had no problem to stop him because they thought that he goes, it's an usual thing that he goes to the president to take instructions. So he had gone there quietly without any resistance because nobody expected anything bad and took the president away. It was after which, when the announcement, before the military or anybody wanted to come in. But when the public got to know that it's a special forces, Guineans have their hands armed, already raised in the air. They are okay. What does it tell you? It tells you, you yourself prepared your own grave, prepared your own pits, and then gave power, and they've taken it. And they are communicating to Guineans, saying that respect of rule of law, which African leaders have used to deceive us over the years. Democracy, which they haven't given democracy. I don't want political democracy. I want economic democracy because freedom nations, economic nations, democratic nations believe in economy. They don't believe in how long somebody stays in power or how long you join a queue to go and vote and go home. Therefore, my thinking is that the 4 presidents, including this gentleman, Alpha Conde, Sekou Touré, Lassana Conte, Sekuba Konate, and then Alpha Conde. If you look at the whole West Africa, it will tell you that Guinea is the only country post-independence, 63 years, that have produced only 4 presidents. Only 4, 3 presidents and 1 interim president. It would have therefore mean that a lot should have been done under this government because they have, I'll call it, even though military, but consistency of 50 years and consistency of 63 years of independence. Compared to Ghana, we've had 13. Compared to Nigeria, they have about 14. Compared to Benin, they have about 8 or 9 presidents for post-independent. Togo, others. Only Guinea that have had, and I think La Côte d'Ivoire, only about 4. So how can the development and the infrastructure of the country still retrogress? How can unemployment hit the island, the small country, with huge natural resources? Let me tell you, Guineans are one of the most hard-working people on the West African belt. Education is low-keyed, but not notwithstanding, Guineans are merchants, they are traders, they are farmers, anything they do. So they are very quiet and calm nationals that any good president with good mind should be able to, because look at the tribal settings. Madinga will not go and kill Madinga. Madingo will not. Fula will not kill Fula. That is why mostly the coup d'etats in Guinea, Guineans deal with tribe. They are like Malians. He's a Madinka. I'm a Madinka. He's my father. I will not harm him, even though I'm overthrowing him. So their coup d'etats are normally without much of a blood. Are you getting me? So, yes. Back to the question of Africa. Now, you cited example, or you gave an example of Paul Kagame. Yes, it is true. Paul Kagame, I'll call you and I'll say that he's not democratic in terms of democracy as the so-called Western democracy. Nevertheless, he has introduced what is called economic democracy. Look at his education records. Catholic University in the United States in California, every year he releases 100 Rwandese, boys and girls, and pay 4-year course. Allowance, everything paid. Let them go and take engineering, railway, transport, etc. He has 100 students going to Japan. He has 100 students going to Germany. He has 100 students going to for a particular specialty all over the world and bring them back to be leaders and then administrators of positions. So therefore, if nobody is contesting him or he doesn't allow anybody even to contest him, it has to do with vision. Typical example case scenario, Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi When some of us had gone there to study, when Gaddafi's population was 3 million, he had 10 million apartments. What does it tell you? There was a certain kind of a vision. Every Libyan complete school, go and collect your key, take to your apartment, you can marry. How many Guinean young ladies, beautiful girls, how many Guinean young men, handsome men are able to marry? Zero. So Africa had reached the stage. I don't care about a coup because of the fact that the APC, ACP, African Caribbean Pacific, the body of 89, leave the Pacific and leave the Caribbean, because Caribbeans have really positioned themselves well with good government and good infrastructure. But the African 56 countries, 57, more or less, what have we seek? What have we done? Not that much. The African Union today are singing, I'll call it a political jeopardy, because they say that they will sanction the young man and then the group. It is a comic relief. How do you sanction them? What do you use to sanction them? What they do is that today, coup taking over, we are sanctioning Guinea, we are sanctioning Mamadou Doumbouya and his people not to come to African Union Congress. Who cares? The sanction in Africa means that they will fold the table and they write with a red pen, banned or sanctioned. That is enough. That is all what? Because there's no single African country, say Senegal or Guinea or Sierra Leone or Liberia, none of them had given $10 to another one. None of them had given a loan to other. None of them had given a support, even natural disaster. They cry on the Europeans and the Western. So if you say that you are sanctioning, ECOWAS is sanctioning them, what happened to the Mali sanction? What is happening? What is going to happen in Guinean sanction? If you are sanctioning only a table and a chair that you fold up and say the band, they don't care. For me, I'm saying that it is not a question of the coup. It's not a question of dissolving the constitution. Indeed, whoever understands diplomacy and politics and understanding of the legal system and the framework of governance, if he does not dissolve the constitution, he ceases to be a head of state. Because the constitution of Guinea does not allow a coup d'etat or overthrow of government. So if he has done that, the only way to let him function as head of state is to dissolve the constitution. So on that particular note, it's very apt that he dissolve it. He must dissolve. Okay, he has dissolved it. My prayers is that the young man, looking at the faces of the young people, telling them, and he quoted, that I'm quoting Jerry Rawlings of Ghana, that when the people in the eyes under democracy, behind democracy, were disrespecting the people, corruption, impunity, political opponents, and all that, out of that, he's taking off the government, and out of that, he's dissolving the constitution. Yes. Would that spirit carry him through, whether with military uniform or with a suit? Will he carry and bring out what is called a guidelines of vision with his youthful exuberance, the energy that he has? Will it not be another political hand, tough hand, also to unleash much pressure and then with also a hardship on the Guineans? But if indeed he will come out and then roll out and have a roadmap for the country and for the people of Guinea, and saying that, well, military did, but they didn't do enough. We've tried democratic dispensation, it didn't work because Guineans are still jobless. But if he will sacrifice himself and then make sure that, well, it is even though a smaller nation, but they have enough resources to take care of that country. So if you would right now have a proper vision, well crafted and created, and provided he had good intentions of taking over the government, because my understanding is that right after he seized the power, all the special forces commanders all over Guinea, they are now have been appointed as governors. My belief is that he has invited all the ministers under Alpha Conde's government and chief executives and certain positions, guy high profile, invited them for a meeting. My prayers is that anything called atrocities, yes, must be out of the equation. But then my prayers is that if it is about those who by impunity, the corruption that he himself mentioned of, that those who took the money of Guineans without respect, he made mention of the son of Guinea. I don't care about the son of Guinea. But all those who are taking Guineans' money, and if they are to return them, let them go home. But he himself and his team, it will not become another barrage of African showcase, whereas it will be like the former system which happened in Sierra Leone. We got to a point that 3 former presidents were all in exile in the same Guinea, living in the same port. When Valentin Strasser was in exile, Tijan Kaba was in exile, Major Kroma was in exile. Not that situation, that the people will be in exile, because if you form fugitives outside, you would also now have political rest and freedom and peace of mind to concentrate. Reconcile and make peace. Whoever has cheated Guinea, let him bring the money. It's not a matter of put all of them in jail will mean anything, but then have a proper vision for the country. If even you stay in power for 1,000 years, I would rather prefer a hardliner doing the right thing than the Paubia who will stay in Continental Hotel in Switzerland, Geneva, and having his cabinet meeting there, and yet he's a president of Republic du Cameroon. I rather prefer somebody who knows what it takes, because Guinea, they've been hit by famine, they've been hit by hunger, they've been hit by poverty, they've been hit by a lot of things. But this is a small country with a huge natural resources, timber, diamond, name them. So, what do Guineans want? The military junta is looking and asking for support. Ghana, we had our way. Ghana, we had our time. Our time under Jerry Rawlings, yes, it was not all right. It was not the easy way, but some of the things he did was in the right way, giving birth to what Ghana is today. However, democracy, to some extent, the country has also suffered in the hands of democracy. In the good name of democracy, embezzlement, you have to go through court process for 20 years. And it's normal charge and bail. Nobody goes to jail. And it's not different from Guinea, not different from Liberia, not different from Sierra Leone, not different from Zambia, not different from other parts of the African continent. And it is so sad also to note that Guinea since 1963, as 1958, not different from Ghana, have never seen any budget surplus in their life before. Never. They've never seen budget surplus ever before. It is the same loan and the same contingent budget. So the country is bedeviled with debt. So therefore, there's always a panic in the system. So whoever sits as a Guinea president has a mind of, let me stay in power. It is not the iron hands that I'm expecting Doumbouya that to show that yes, he's physique macho. He should bring down not the shoulder, but he should bring down the mind. I believe the mental power. Know what Guineans want. Look at the jubilation on the street. It's not because the president was not popular, but it's because the people feel that a certain burden is out of their neck. How would a country, a president be disposed? Other countries, when the president term is up, democratical and receiving to go, people put their hands on their head and still cry. Why people jubilate in African countries? And the gentleman who made a comparison with Saudi Arabia, yes, I strongly support. Saudi Arabia is a monarchy. They are using one product, oil. Kuwait is a monarchy. There's no democracy. Libya, Gaddafi stood in there for 42 years. We saw what he did. When they so-called claimed democracy, go to Libya, quote unquote, we've seen the democracy in Libya. Morocco, as he mentioned, Jordan, it used to be Syria, Kuwait, Iraq and others, where people stayed longer with one product of oil. We have what it takes. Kuwait imports water. Dubai imports water. It's a service nation. Even the oil, so-called Dubai or the Emirates, they don't have oil to that extent. They are only servicing the country with taxes. But we steal money and go and give it to them. 1975, 1980, Guinean independence is more than Kuwait. Guinea saw the world, became a member of ECOWAS, became a member of the international community, long before we knew a country called United States, Arab Emirates, Dubai. Look at where Dubai is. Look at where Ghana is. Champion of democracy on African continent, Ghana. Look at where we are and look at Malaysia. Yet, we taught Malaysians how to do palm plantations. Yet, Nigeria under Shagari gave money to Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia to raise out and start the economy. See where Indonesia is and look at Nigeria. See Malaysia and look at Nigeria. See Singapore and look at Malaysia. And all these countries, Ghana, Nigeria, and most of the African countries have supported them before. You see, we have a certain kind of a mind. Let me bring in perspective in discussions Nelson Mandela. Mandela struggled, but post-Mandela and post-Mandela South Africa, how much have we added? Have they added to South Africa? The money stock, cash stock that the white regime called the apartheid, which you and I were all against, that is the money still South Africa is still living on. That is still the money. When it was given back to the continent, the apartheid dissolved and a black president was installed and then brought into office. Look at from Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, and then what's the name? My good friend, the one in Jacob Zuma, and then Ramaphosa. Yes, look at the ranch. Go to where in Cape Town, Eastern Cape, where he built his system. Over 80 buildings, 80 houses. How many houses can you live in a night? How many beds can you? Have they been able to improve employment? Answer is zero. Have they been able to add value to the South African economy? The answer is the old existing system. So we have a kind of a problem. And the problem, surprisingly, some people will blame it on the West. We should blame it on our own stupidity. Because no African country has ever in the history of Africa given loan to any African country. No African country has done that. Congo has never given money to Tanzania. Neither have they given money to Uganda. Neither have they given money to Burundi. No. Nigeria has never given money to Benin, to Togo, and then Sao Tome and Principe. No. All of them group and go out there and borrow money. How does a country like Congo, how does a country like Cameroon will go to Holland, a small country that hasn't got a land, and borrow money? How much? $1 million to do immigration digitization. Who does that? So if an African president is overthrown, the political rhetorics, look at the interesting scenario. Alpha Conde, when he became the African Union chairman for 1 year, or the president of the AU, look at the interesting dynamics. His predecessor was Idris Deby. Alpha Conde came and gave to Paul Kagame. And we are talking about democracy. So when there's an issue that to do with elections, tell me whether Idris Deby at that time could talk about elections. Tell me Alpha Conde, who knew who was going to go third time, could talk about democracy. Tell me if Paul Kagame, he would. Kagame's case is an exceptional case. He became a deputy president to a civilian interim government because of how he entered into Rwanda, stopped and quelled the fight, and sat in the parliament chamber with a military gun. And anything they were talking politics, he says agree. And then the president at that time, Bimuzungi, the pastor, he said that take your Rwanda. He said, I hold it first. And he has taken Rwanda from that time till today. And look at transformation of a country that went into genocide. Look at the country that suffered. 600,000 people were slaughtered a day, including animals. So therefore, if anybody should say democracy is what is saving or would save Africa, I'll strongly say that, well, it will save Africa on the long story, the long theories, the long English, the long French that they write and sit at the UN General Assembly and receive claps and applause. After that, there's nothing inside. Nothing. It's hollow because the vision is not there. And the mission is also not apt. The mission is inconsistent. The build-up is how they'll build up for themselves and nothing more. I don't and I will not say that overthrowing the government is something that I'll clap for. But I will also not cry when an African leader without vision is also overthrown. Because the justification is that if you've done a good job, the people will stop. They will not let you go if you did a good job. So if an African leader is overthrown, I'll be very surprised, even within the French provinces, if Paul Biya today is overthrown, whether Cameroonians will cry. You can't have a president who lives in another country for 5 good years and being guarded by the French army in the foreign country of Switzerland at the expense of the Cameroonian taxpayers' money, inviting his cabinet to come on the 7th and 6th floor of Continental Hotel. How much is a room a night? So if such a person is overthrown, African Union will say that we are going to sanction the coup protests. You sanction them by only sanctioning a chair and a table. Africa hasn't got any sanction. ECOWAS has no sanction because you don't have even tomatoes. You don't have onions that you've given to the other neighbor. So what are you sanctioning them for? What are you sanctioning them for? No African country owes the another. No African country is indebted to another. The only African country that gave money to other African country, it was more or less in their control. It was South Africa and Namibia. But even with that, because South Africa was the one holding Namibia as their colonial masters. Apart from that, nothing, no country in Africa has given any other African. So we are sanctioning them of what? Visa restrictions, or sanctioning them of what? You sanction only table. So Mamadou, he doesn't care whether you sanction him or not. He does not care. You can sanction the Guinean table at the ECOWAS forum. You can sanction the Guinean table and chair at the ECOWAS. Nothing more. So that is not afraid. What he needs to do is the vision that he claims he seeks to bring. And then the jamboree, the happiness, the enthusiasm on the faces of Guinea, let that one be his mark. Either than that, God had always said that what you didn't do to the people, what you didn't give it to them, he would also not give it to you. Therefore, if it is a fame that today is enjoying the glory of the Guinean people because he has overthrown Alpha Conde, he must also be watchful that what brought about the coup success would also be brought about to him. And if not anything at all, Sekou died on the throne, Lasakona Conte died on there, and it's a possibility that all of us, yes, will go, but let us go with a good name. It pays nothing to take care of your citizenry. It pays nothing to make sure that they have good schools. Look at Guinea airport. The same post office, the same airport looking like post office, what is existing over all these years. Is it a country with people seriously? Guineans work so tirelessly, and you can't have such a citizen who naturally didn't know how to demonstrate, who naturally didn't know how to complain, who were only endowed in tribal settings and traditional settings, and then tribal culture and etc. If you have citizens like Guinea, come. Will you be today that they have to take you up, a gent, an old man, 74 years, wearing a jeans, relax in the sofa? Which kind of good government? There is no democracy in the country that you live called Germany. There's no democracy if we are talking about how long Merkel has stayed in power. But look at the coming of Merkel and compare to European history. Was she not a DDR girl, even though Western girl? When she came to German parliament, she had one party. She was one person for one party, the awakening party. But the vision, the spirit, Helmut Kohl saw in her, and the young girl, which has never happened in the history of Germany, gave her a ministerial post. She had been a prime minister since the fall of Schroeder. Has anybody taken her out? So if democracy is by way of 4 years, is Angela Merkel a Democrat? But Germans are voting for her because of what? If not anything, good policies. If not anything, good, how do we call it? Social benefits, good education, good family, a whole lot of things, infrastructure. There is no way you will say in Germany, in France, in Holland, that you see a prime minister going to commission a toilet. Are we crazy in Africa? That the whole executive president will leave the office with entourage, with land cruisers, only to go there and cut a sword of an opening of a market, an opening of a toilet, an opening of a small bridge, that we should clap for them. Have you seen that in Europe? Because the money is not yours. The money is the taxpayers' money, and the government money is for all. Your work is to do 3 things: governing, administering, and managing the country. Not to rule. But African leaders are still ruling. So rulership is what it comes about, some of these things. We are not animals that you can rule them. Unfortunate thing for them, doctor, is that they have forgotten the power of the social media. So those days in the post-colonial, where there were no telephones, where you and I were not talking like this, where the news could not transport, a coup would take place. It takes 1 month before people will know. Now it is just on spot, spontaneously, as it is happening, it's already on the air. So they should know that they have been exposed by the age and the time, and the speed of technology is not helping them. So they better sit up. And it's an advice I'll give to Doumbouya, and it's an advice I'll give to his team. But if they also take advantage, like the AFRC government of Sierra Leone of Government Strassa, where they woke up in the night and they will go up and call their opponents and ask them to bring their wives up. Yes, there will be elements to do that, raping, arbitrary. I know a president in Africa, I will not call the name, but it's still within West Africa. The day he became president through military coup d'etat, what he said was that whoever is having my girlfriend in his room, meanwhile the girlfriend was already married, must bring her out. that was his first statement. Whoever has my girlfriend should bring her out. Doctor, yes, a speech from a president, as somebody who came out and toppled the government, his first speech was that, my fellow countrymen, whoever knows my girlfriend is in your room, bring her out. Knowing very well that the former girlfriend was married. So these are the kind of mindset, if that is what Doumbouya and his friends will also go into it, yes, time is of great essence and time will tell. So I'm saying that, like you said, today is questions and answers. It's an introductory. We leave it here, and maybe let your panel, let your listeners also listen that Africa will still have a very long way to go. Our cities, our countries are still dirty. We are ahead of the Caribbeans in terms of democratic age. We are ahead of the Pacific in terms of democratic age. People in Vanuatu, people in Solomon Island, people in Nauru Island, people in Fiji, the women are now learning how to wear a heel. The women are now learning how to put on a hair cap. The women are learning how to put on even an earring. They don't wear even jeans because they do not know it. See the advancement between Africa, how close we want to live, even more sophisticated than Europeans. How do you go to Europe, borrow money? Every African country, mostly especially the West African countries, any money that the president is calling for at the parliament, it is money that they borrowed. And they will come and tell you that due to the president's good negotiating power, he has been able to secure $20 million from China. Then we start clapping for them. Which country, how do you borrow money? Guinea, how do you borrow money and pay civilians, public servants? So you don't create your own wealth. Africa does not create wealth. They only know how to borrow. So when you go to African parliament, including the parliament of Alpha Conde, who has been toppled today, the agreement signing of contracts, debts, money, borrowing, it is not different from African mortuary on Saturdays or Fridays. They line up documents. Everything is only borrowing agreements that they are signing. When would you also give loan to somebody? When would you create your own wealth? How would you and when would you? It is rather unfortunate. It is not the best of its kind, but it is the only way that we have to do it. That if the government will not act, let them be taken over, let others come. We should be sacrificing, we should be leading through this life until one day somebody will say that I'll change the status quo and I'll change the narrations. Until we get there, this coup d'etat, etc. Last 10 years, last 5 years on West African belt, check the countries. Mali had gone in the last 10 years, 5 years. How many coup d'etats? Look at Chad, a president, executive president, who has defied the odds and defied democratic dispensation, let's say governance and etc. How would you have an election won? An old man, not even having gone for swearing in, you would walk to a desert at your age that you are going to fight. How does it happen? How does it happen? Equatorial Guinea staged a coup which never was to enable him arrest his opponents. Amazonia, your country, Cameroon, is on fire because certain things are not moving right. All these things, ECOWAS, all these things, African Union will not speak. Let me ask African Union, as my last word. When Alpha Conde started to go for third term, changing the constitution, where was the ECOWAS? Where was the African Union? Did they sanction him? No. So why would we sanction coup plotters? How do you sanction coup plotters? But you will not sanction somebody who went against his own constitution. That amounts to subvention. How didn't they sanction him? So the excesses of our inactivity, the excesses of inaction, the excesses of non-performance, and the excesses of politics that has come about with some of these things. But I still say that the coup leaders should give respect to humanity. They should not mishandle the people. If genuinely anybody is having Guinean money that they know, they should collect. But if they are collecting, they should collect for the Guinean people, not also as the French presidents will do. The same this night, their girlfriends will fly to Paris and go and fix their nails. I know French presidents on the continent of Africa, they fly their girlfriends on a presidential jet, purposely to go to Paris and wait for them to do makeups and come back. Oh, Africa. Dr. Tata, it's been a long time that we've not spoken, so let me leave you here. And then as the days unfold, we are following Guinea keenly. But you know that Burkina Faso also has an exile leader, so there was a coup, more or less, that overthrew him in disguise. Okay? Idris Deby is gone. Alpha Conde, not dead, but he's gone. Blaise Compaoré is gone. All of them who are not prepared to take care of your nationals, your citizens, and give them what they want. Build infrastructure with their own money that God gave you, the country. And if this is the way that you live for your friends and your family, nobody has sense unless you and your cabinet. When the right time comes, it's a kind of disgrace. You can't rise from grace and come to disgrace. To the extent of 70 at his age, you should be quietly in 84 or 86 years. You should be sitting down with your grandchildren, and the people will come to you like some Nojuma, the father of the creation, the father of Namibia, Go out there. Had anybody chased him? Till today, even on his bed, people consult him for ideas. Why can't we be so selfless? Why can't we be so selfless? Festus Mogai of Botswana, people go to him and consult. Why can't we be selfless? And then we know nothing, especially the West African leaders. They are the most smartest, they are most clever, and they are most everything. It is what we bring, what we build is what we get. You don't take a young boy and push him at his age, become a colonel, and tour him around all best military set up in the world. What do you expect him to do? Let me thank you once again, and may God bless all of you.
Thank you so very much. I mean, I know that's the voice of Africans. You're just representing everything that everyone is seeing. We're opening up the lines while Al is still here to take your questions or a feedback. I mean, it's burning. There's no time that we will play around all these words, or we would fix, or we would politically, talk always about what we anticipate, what is going to happen. No, this is going to. It is just that it doesn't work. How much more would we know that it will not work? Now, while we're waiting for the calls to come in, anyone that has a call to make, I think that the audience is really enjoying these lectures. This and this. I don't know how I can even call it. Joshua Maponga said for the way forward, and I think that is also something that could happen. We're already in it. The milk is already been spilled. Now, how are we going to fix it? That's the solution. We're always solution oriented. We know all these past things, what we've been doing, what our leaders are doing. The question is, how do we, in one point in time, start making the decisions that will work for us? Joshua said yesterday, he could suggest or he is recommending. I know that new leadership, even the old one, is watching us. All of them, they watch us. And I thank you so much for watching. The issue is, do you see a possibility that the young leadership could also say, okay, he also has experience and has some knowledge to pass on. Let us sit at the table. There would be something to take out of the broken jar. Do you see that happening? Or must it always be that when we overthrow, we throw even the old wisdom? Doesn't matter how bad that was. Do we learn from the past? This is just the past. Would the future take into consideration, or they just say it was nothing that ever happened? What do you think?
Doctor, let me once again say that every country had gone through a teething stage, and I'm referring particularly to the United States of America, where they are, and when they had gone to live on the land of the Red Indians. In the early 19th century, in 1945, 1946, and down, in America, when a man or somebody committed a crime, they were tying their pennies, as a form of punishment. Look at the developmental stage, modification of the rules, protecting the human rights, infrastructure building. They stopped also going to their farms on camels and donkeys and see where they are. So you see a certain transformation that goes by the age with a certain agenda and a vision. So America says that we're creating wealth. We, as in the case, we are not prepared. We are not prepared. But then to talk about experience, my dear, the permanent secretaries of Africa have not gone out of office claiming that they have an experience, and that is why they are keeping them there. They keep every year, as people's ages increasing, when people are celebrating their birthday, they keep writing letters to the birth and death administration saying that their date of birth was rather wrong, and they keep decreasing it. Yes, they keep acquiring the experience. Let me ask you, what experience have they given? Have they shared? Have they imparted? Have they transferred to the youth? Where is the experience that they've transferred? So for me, I'm saying that if it takes the youth to go through the mills, to go through the potholes, to go through the hardship and learn in a hard way, a certain generation will enjoy. It means that every generation must solve their own problem. So if the people in the 70 and the 80 years, the generation that told us that they have every experience in the world because they studied in the West, because they were deputies in France and deputies in UK, because they were professors of history and professors of law and lectured the white man, and they came back. They sit down and turn around and salute young boys of 40 years from countries that are serious. How much and how old is the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinta? How old is she? 38-year-old girl. An African leader of 100 years will see her and be going down, bowing down, saluting them, respecting them. So where is the experience? Where is the experience that the San Marino president is still under 35 years, but is better than African president who is 80 years? Where is the experience? The experience gathered in Africa is the experience to steal. The experience is to steal. The experience is not manifested on their country in their own offices. A lot of countries, including Guinea, including Ghana, including Cameroon, other countries on the African continent, you go to the Ministry of Tourism, the face of the country, go to their washroom, there's no toilet roll. Where's the experience of the chief director or the permanent secretary? The face of the country. So listen, everybody, the experience, what about when they die? They die with the experience. But if they're imparting the experience on the new generation, they wouldn't be going through what we are going through, or the country wouldn't be experiencing so experience has not been shared. They share the experience among themselves. How do you have a country that the Guinea population, they have about 18 years to 36, 18 years to 40, forms part more than 50% of the country's population. And predominantly almost everywhere in Africa is virtually like that. Mm-hmm. You have graduates, not less than 15,000 graduates, entire country to 20,000 a year. And nobody have access to go to any government office. Nobody has access to have her own company or being able to establish anything. And yet it is an agric backbone country. Everybody, look at the congestion in CONAKRY. Everybody lives everywhere in Guinea and come to CONAKRY. Sleeping, accommodation gap, deficit is so huge in CONAKRY. Because when you leave CONAKRY, everywhere, poverty. So where is the experience that the old ones didn't share or they shared with the people who are behind them? So I suggest that it is time that African youth, your age is the computer age. Your age is the internet age. Your age is the free research age. Your age is comparative and competitive age. Because you can compete, you can compare. Your age is the visionary age. If you can't do anything better, over-reliance on experience has weakened the country and the continent all over. Because permanent secretary has been there 45 years, changing a speech of one minister to another. That experience is an old one article, one template speech that he wrote for Minister A for the last 25 years. Is the same that he's using. Is that experience we are talking about? And young men and women, vibrant with energetic, enthusiastic, and ability, they want to work with happiness. You could see the enthusiasm on their face. But when you go to the public offices, they sabotage you. They sabotage you in the military. They sabotage you in the police. They sabotage you in the fire service. They sabotage you in all the ministries. And the sadness aspect of it is you, the women. Either you sleep with me for appointment or you sleep with me for promotion. Is that the experience that we are looking for? That cannot be an experience. We don't need any experience in Africa. We need to go through the hard times in our own way. And every generation must find experience in their time. So if it is the time of Umboya and Co., they must find their own experience in their time, not the experience of the 50 years of military regime. Generation must solve their own problems. Every generation must solve their own problems. Allow the modern day generation to solve their problems. Their time, there was no video call. Their time, there was no Zoom call. So the world lived in the darkness. I'm speaking to you from Accra. You are in Germany. The world is watching. Everybody's in tune. Was it the same thing? No. So that experience, we don't need it. We need a new experience built up with time. And the time is now. It must reflect with the ideals of modern day technology and modern day dreaming.
I share. Thank you so very much. I mean, we can't even chew it more again. I know that it's getting late, and yes, we're waiting. The calls are coming in, or they're not coming in. They will be rounding up the conversation, because it's really was that point that we get the African voice to speak what we feel in our stomach and what we know is right for us. And so what the young people should be learning is not just jubilate, but to, I mean, sleep this time with one eye open on any kind of who is coming. Trust yourself more and learn more. Take it and run with it. Because sometimes we put always investing the energy and always getting disappointed at one point in time. Yes, we trust our leadership, we trust our competence, but trust yourself more in the ability and your contribution to do even much, much better. Because you see, the commons are the better ones, because even the ones on top take from you, the poor. Without you, they cannot even exist. Even we say they go and borrow, but you are the collateral. You're the ones on which they're depending to pay. Your generations would inherit all these debts, right? So it is time to wake up, like you said, Africa, wake up. Wake up. We can say it more again. Let's not only jubilate anytime, you know, a president is elected, or we are celebrating. It's the same thing in Zambia. We had, of course, that one was what we say. If this is what they call democracy, a president say yes, okay, you know, and we celebrate and inaugurate. Now what comes next? What comes next? Now we are so on our ears and our eyes open. And like we look anybody like, yes, we might look the same, but let's wait and see. That's the question. Let's wait and see. So I want to thank all of you for joining. I mean, it has been a wonderful, wonderful, I mean, more than 1,000 watching. This is amazing. And because exactly that African continent is the heartbeat, is the mother of all Africans. And that's why it's necessary for us. Nobody's going to shut us down again. The world will not even do it. They cannot even do it. You have the yam and the knife, and it is your time to pick it and run. Hold those leaders and the elders, starting even from your parents' home. Hold each elder accountable for things that is not right, because you're going to pay those debts. You're going to be accountable for it. I mean, some of them are just like, after I'm old, what more? Even if they put me into ACC African, you know, even if they, like you said, how many times would even the African Union take just the process of sanctioning? There's been sanction from even the outside, sanctioning your own country. You don't even bother, right? Countries that have been, you know, loitering from other international sanctions, we don't even bother. So it is time.
They only sanction tables and then sanction a chair. African Union sanction is a table and a chair. Don't come there. Don't come and sit. That's all. Apart from that, where is the sanction? Nothing more. So nobody's afraid of their sanction anymore.
So I think we've talked about now. What about the alliances? I mean, because we're talking, this is our own thing, but we know that, you know, there's been France, there's been America, there's been China, there's been Austria, Russia. There's been, what does these partners have to do with the whole thing? It is not just the black face now we see, but what about the ones we don't see that are doing business with Africa or Guinea, CONAKRY?
Well, Doctor, it is a kind of a good deal for the West, because they have vision for their countries. Whenever there's a change, either abrupt change, democratic change, or peaceful change, one way or the other, it benefits some country, it benefits some alliances. I don't think Doumbouya, Mamadi, today, this night, he would not have, quote unquote, a Western partner that he deals with. Quote unquote, within the sub-region and his own neighboring countries, I think and I know that he has countries that would also open their arms. Look at Africa. A president stays in power with hard-faced hand, brutalize his people, kill them, do whatever. But when time comes that he goes into exile, you show the countries who are his friends. In the same way, before the gentleman, I don't think he was in his bedroom watching television and he picked his gun that let us go and then topple or stitch a coup.
No way.
He had planned. Don't forget that in May, there was a leakage in May this year that Doumbouya was going to be arrested and that he was planning a coup. It was leaked in May this year, some 3 months ago, some 4 months ago. There was a leakage in Guinea that Alpha Conde was aware that there could be a coup. But Alpha Conde trusted the gentleman because he himself empowered him. And at the young age of Colonel, gave him special forces to be the commander. So he didn't believe it. Lo and behold, there it is. That rumors turns out to be a reality. Therefore, it is not a question of who asked him to overthrow or how he did that. The question is that what you did, if the Guineans were satisfied with it, he wouldn't have been able to topple you. And then the Western, as you did say, for them, they are sitting back and looking for loopholes. Of course, German doesn't sell cocoa. They don't produce cocoa, but they enjoy and then consume cocoa better than Ghana. Switzerland has not seen cocoa tree, but they know chocolate better one than me sitting here. Switzerland, they have better jewelry. A Ghanaian, I've not seen gold with my eyes before. And the trouble, not only my country, with the other African countries, alike. How many Guineans have seen diamond before? But then Guinean diamond, you see it on the Wall Street. It is like that. So for them, one way or the other, it is an opening door and a welcoming news for some partners. It is indeed a welcoming news for some countries. It is a welcoming news for others who feel that there are also an alliance hiding somewhere who will give, as we speak. Some people must have given him a support financially, morally, physically, spiritually, everything for him to do what he did. He didn't just wake up. So if you're talking about alliance, terribly seriously, I can tell you that as the month unfolds, all those who are clamoring and calling for sanctions, you will see which are his friends, both on the African continent and then also elsewhere. Not forgetting that Alpha Conde also had enemies within the African continent. Some of them were his neighbors. So his neighbors who didn't like Alpha Conde, they will be jubilating alongside Doumbouya. So whichever way it is, it's not the only Europeans and the Western power that will be happy. Has France said anything? Africa is talking, giving warnings and instructions. ECOWAS is talking with political weight. What is the Godfather France saying? Colonial masters of France. Have they spoken and what did they say? Have they said they are coming to topple him? Have they said they will move him like they did to, what's the name? Cote d'Ivoire former leader. Have they done that? Laurent Gbagbo? No. So France is quiet. We are listening. So whichever way it is, there's no poor country on the continent that has been shared, that has been auctioned. Whichever way it is, there's no country in this world that has been isolated. Whichever, however, Doumbouya has friends and it will be unfolded. You will see them as the man grows. Within a certain time, 3 months, 4 months, all this coup d'etat issue will be settled. You will see Guinea, the new direction and the new friends of the government.
Absolute. Nothing hides forever. We're going to see them. Yes. I'm saying yes. The lines are open, like I say. Please call using the WhatsApp number, not direct calls. I can't pick direct calls. We're going to switch off the other callers. I see calls coming in, but the direct calls, and I can't pick them. Please use your WhatsApp to call us so that we can still be live and everyone will hear you. So call using the WhatsApp number +49 1578 211 2379. But we're rounding up, and I hope we all learn something tonight, or of course we learn the history and where we are coming from. There's no other person that I know that is going to sit here and give you exactly this history, like this encyclopedia. We call him the African Encyclopedia, Al Wahab Farouk. Google him up. You're going to see, if you want to get Africa history and news, if I'm not talking only the mainland Africa, even the diaspora, you know, you have the right person. And I don't know why actually platforms that are saying they are advocating for Africa would never have you. But we're grateful and we're thankful, and you're a blessing to Africa. That's why you future and you're a partner of the Pan-African Daily to educate our people, and we push it forward. So I'm going to pick these calls. Thank you. For those that are contributing, you're doing a very incredible job. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you are clicking and subscribing to the Pan-African Daily TV, because that's the voices of the Africans. We seek solutions to Africans' challenges from Africans by Africans for Africa. Okay, we are going to fix it, and then we will fix the global relationship. So make sure you are tuning in every day, 8 p.m. Europe time. It should be 6 p.m. GMT in Ghana and most of the West African countries. But in the Americas, it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard and 3 p.m. Caribbean and 1 p.m. Haiti. Yes, so we're picking up the calls right now. I'm so sorry. They keep coming in and it's dropping because they're calling the red. Call, please, using the WhatsApp. Everybody's WhatsApp these days, right? That's the way we do it. So yes, Al, I'm so damn proud, particularly the relationship that you're building out there in the Pacific, right? With Vanuatu, with West Guinea, and all that. I mean, you're doing a very incredible job. I cannot thank you much more. When we say our people, you are the people's people. Yes. All right. Let me try. I think we're gonna get these ones. The connections are really tripping. Please be patient. Yeah. Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. Thank you. I'm fine. And you?
I'm okay too. I'm calling Stuttgart.
Oh, wow. Wie geht's dir?
Yeah. Good.
All right.
Good. But I want to just little bit contribute a little bit.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yes, pertaining to the uncle you are talking with is he's a good guy anyway. I'm enjoying it anyway. But I just want to tell him to his focus attention to Gambia, whereby in 2016 we have approved the dictator. For this year we are going for coups in December. But unfortunately, the dictator's party whom we approved 2016, that is Yahya Jammeh, his APRC party is making coalition with the same guy whom we brought in 2016 to replace the dictator. So I don't know. Can the uncle talk about that one too?
I think today we want to focus on Guinea CONAKRY. We'll talk about Gambia. He's our lecturer or expert on topics like that. We're going to focus on Gambia. Do you want to take that?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand the Gambia.
Because most of these African leaders, they fail us.
All right.
We Africans.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Thank you so very much. I'm picking up this call. Maponga Joshua is live. Hello. Good evening. Welcome.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening, my king.
Good evening. Oh, yes, I wanted to make a contribution, and I was seeking for connection with Honorable Al that is there. I think we make a team.
Yes.
I would like to have a connection with him after the show.
Okay.
If you can share my numbers with him. But I think he mentioned something very, very critical. that the issue is not about dictatorship, the issue is not about coups, the issue is about the people.
Yes.
And if you get in power and you don't respect the people, there's no reason why we must feel sorry for you when the people finally push you out of power. What we are looking for is leadership that is in touch with its own people. And above that, I want also to emphasize the issue of, in as much as we are trying these foreign systems of governance, we still need to emphasize also, equally important, that we need to look back also into our own cultural, historical settings, pick up some crumbs and information that is critical, which is cultural, which we can use to navigate into the present democratic Pan-African space. I think we need a science that adapts and lends the global politics, African politics, combine our history with the modern technology, and come up with a hybrid solution that will begin to challenge the modern global political arena. But I want to thank him very much. I listened to the whole show. I appreciate him very much. He is quite clear on a number of issues. I would love to get in touch with him after the show. I thank you.
No problem. Okay. That's what That's the only thing that I do. Bring all of you together and we move as a team. So yeah, thank you so very much, King Maponga Joshua, and thank you for your wonderful contribution. Yes, I'm going to be taking the audio. Yes, I will. Yeah. Hello. Please, I picked up your call. Hello. All right, this connection coming out there. Hello. Hello. Yes.
Hi, my sister. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All right. My name is Daffy. I'm calling once more from Texas. My question to the professors, like, did Africans of the since the late 20th century, 21st century, do we have value? Do you have any custom and tradition? Do we have any future or vision for the continent? Because the reason I'm asking this question, we're going to look at this Western civilization, their system of governance. They got it from the Greek and the Romans. This is their own system. So why are we looking to adopt to other people's lifestyle that we know is not going to work? Since independent, there's no African country that is free. First of all, if you want to act as free country, you have to have economically independent, politically, militarily. Each and every African country has an European military in their own countries. Everyone. So how can you say this African countries have independence or they are free? None of them are free. So I want to ask him, do we have any vision, any plan, how to recreate Africa?
Okay.
From the 21st century and upwards. Do we have any vision, any custom, any plans as Africa, starting from the African Union to ECOWAS and all these little organizations they had?
Okay. All right. Yes, thank you so very much. I think that's the same thing that King Maponga called, and I think those are no questions that we're going to debate the conversation. Let's keep it on it. Then we'll walk out, and then we'll be talking about exactly. That's the reason why we ask democracy. Is it an African culture? We're still going to break it down to that point to ask, what is really democracy? How do Africans perceive democracy? And I think that is in the pipeline. We all know where these questions are coming from. Let us take the calls and hear people who share exactly the topic that we're talking about. Getting into all these lectures, we're going to make a point on that. Okay? You have what I mean. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. And yes, thank you so much for your contribution. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you very much. I am a Gambian calling from Germany.
Okay.
I've been following the program. I am very happy. It's very educative. I'm saying thank you to Professor and Pan-African TV.
Thank you so very much.
But my question is, what are we not doing different? Why is countries like Europe stable and there is no coup d'etat whatsoever. I want Professor to help us. What type of democracy really suits Africa that will avoid this coup d'etat? Because I am a Pan-Africanist, but I am a Democrat. I don't want to support coup d'etat for any reason. I live in the Gambia. I know there was coup d'etat 21, 22 years ago. Always, at the end of the day, what can we do to avoid coup in Africa so that there will be no coup again? I want Professor to help. If there is a particular type of democracy that Africa needs,
yes,
what is that type of democracy, please?
Okay, thank you so very much. I'm taking the questions because he will have to round up with it. If we cut it, there are a lot of calls that are coming. I see you calling from Vietnam. Please, can you call using the WhatsApp number? It's much easier. I can pick the calls that are coming direct. And I'm really just sorry. I'm not really sure that we'll deal with picking all the calls today. Probably we'll have to prolong it. I'm sorry you have to sit there a little bit, but yeah. And when you call, keep it short because it's just too many calls. And we want every voice matters. Every African voice matters on the Pan-African Daily. Just keep it short. Go straight to the question and we will get back to you. Hello?
Hello, Doctor. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Mohammed and I'm calling from Belgium.
Oh, thanks for calling. Yes. What's your contribution?
My contribution is, I think I want to agree with the professor that you are with in the studio. And because I don't think democracy as we know it, right, as we know it now, is working for Africa. I think we have to, as Africans, we have to come up with our own way that speak to the reality of our people and you know, and work on that and see if we can be able to make a headway, because right now it is not, democracy is not working for Africa, you know.
Thank you very much.
We said we have representative democracy whereby you have parliamentarians who went to the parliament and speak in a language that the people do not understand, you know. Many of the people don't understand. So whatever they said in that parliament is not, you know, it's not filtering down to the masses, no. So what is the use of having such people and speaking on their behalf when they cannot understand you?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes, I think we have to change our way and then find something that is best for us. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for calling. Greetings to Belgium. Wow. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. My name is Nana. I'm speaking from UK.
Thank you, Nana.
First and foremost, I would like to say a very big thank you to you and to your panel member, Mr. Abraham. He's doing a wonderful job, and God bless the womb that gave birth to him. Because
I share.
Yeah, he has opened our mind. He has opened our eyes. You know, a lot of African youth don't know or doesn't understand politics much, but I've listened to him not too much, but it has opened my mind, my eyes, and my understanding in politics.
Thank you.
You know, I think Africa doesn't need democracy. We need good governance. We need sincere and honest leaders. That's all that we ask for. They should be sincere and honest with us. We don't need anything from all these leaders. That's all that we need. For Africans to stop traveling unnecessarily, going to Sahara Desert, crossing the Mediterranean, and African ECOWAS, African Union, they haven't done anything about it. They don't discuss these important issues. The life of an ordinary African boy or girl or youth, they don't care. All they care about is their own selfish interest.
Thank you.
You know, it's very sad.
That's true. That's true.
Much.
Thank you too. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello, my sister queen. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. As Prima Punga said, we have to go back to Africa. We have to go back to Mama, to Mott. We have to go back to our original ways. That's the only way Africa can go forward. Our school system has to teach our children who we are. That's the education they need. We have to learn our own cultures, stick to ourselves, and then Africa cannot be defeated. And we are on our way. That great speaker, I thank you, sir, for giving us light. Thank you. I love you, my sister. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. All right. Thank you. Hello. Let's get this one from South Africa. I think we'll be rounding up because I don't think we're going to end. It's just too much coming in. I'm really sorry if we're not picking the calls. We can only pick one call at the same time. But you can also drop your question or your comment in the chat room, because I see all the platforms where we're connected, and I see all of you that are on this platform. So if you don't get through, please drop a comment. And also know that we are here every same time, every day, you know, and we do all these topics every day. So it's not only going to end today, it's going to continue again. All right. So I don't know. This one is struggling. It's not going. Teacher, what do you say?
Okay. Let me just quick to say that with all the contributions that has filtered in on this particular platform.
One second, Al. One second, please. Sorry. Hello.
No.
Let me just quick to say. Are you getting me?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank our brother Farouk for this rich contribution. But I would like to come in with my own contribution to say I think there's need for democracy.
Okay.
If we have to move on, well, true democracy is not what we find in other African countries. So if we practice true democracy, we will not have all the schools. When you can't perform after 4 or 5 years, depending on the constitutional term of office, you step down. They can re-elect you if only you perform well. So I think there is need for true democracy. If we practice true democracy, we will not have all the schools and all whatnot. That is just my own contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Every African voice counts on the Pan-African Daily TV. We take your questions, we take your feedback. It is the voice of Africans worldwide. So nobody's going to be kicked out. We are not here to disagree. We are here to look for a solution. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome.
Calling from the Caribbean.
Calling from the Caribbean. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes. Your ambassador is here, the Caribbean ambassador.
Okay, well, thanks for his contribution. Thank him very much. I'm short because the time is very tight.
Yes.
I believe democracy can work in Africa. I believe it can work in Africa because it is a system for the people and by the people. So there are some good things in democracy that can work for the people.
Okay.
Also, right? But I believe education is a very key part indeed. Meaning, there are persons who must learn, who are supposed to do certain things, right? There are persons who are supposed to govern the country, to know the laws of the country, and to execute the laws of the country. And there are people who are supposed to do different things, and they need to be qualified to do different things. But I believe democracy can work. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Our greetings out there too in the Caribbean. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello. Your connection is so bad, South Africa. I mean, I see all the South Africans. It's not working. Please give it up. I'm so sorry. Hello.
Yes, hello, Susan. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Enoch Asima, calling from Botswana.
Thank you so much, Doc. Go ahead. How is Botswana doing? Al, are you the one bringing all this? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I thank very much Professor Farouk for the good work I've been following. I really thank you for the good work. The issue of Guinea is really a matter to talk about. I was surprised today. People in Uganda are asking, when is it happening to us? When is it coming to Uganda? I'm Uganda behind. So it is so
something also interesting. People are interested in servicing selfish interests. They come to the power. They change the term limits. And they only fill the offices with the brothers, sisters, relatives, and other people. They circle themselves with only relatives and forget the interests of the people. They forget that these resources are for the citizens. They only service selfish interests, which is not right. I want to talk about one thing which Professor hinted on, and this thing is about democracy. I feel for Africa, our states, I don't want even to call them countries because they are states, they are servicing interests of other big countries in the West. We are not yet ready. We are not yet ready for democracy. We are not yet ready. Look at some countries. He talked of Rwanda. I've worked in Rwanda. Rwanda has grown very fast. Imagine since 1994 when they had genocide. President Paul Kagame has done a lot. I know here how he has ruled the country because I've worked there myself. The development is so fast. Services are nearer to the people. Even in the villages, they made even some banks. They made banks for the people in the villages, and the development is taking place. But if you can go there and ask people in Rwanda, they will talk bad things about the president. They don't want to see it. So that is Africa. Those are Africans we don't see, we do not appreciate. We are only good at talking. Something new I need to talk about, which is happening today and affecting our youth, is one thing. Our youth today, they are not hardworking. They are very lazy. Today, people are fighting to go and work in foreign countries. People are fighting to go and work in United Arab Emirates, and they pay a lot of money. What does that mean? They are not ready to keep in their countries and work for the development. They are not ready to form organizations, get funded by the government, and develop themselves. They are really they are fighting for this new thing we call it modern slavery. They pay a lot of money to get recruited by these firms and go and work in those countries. And when they reach there, they create reasons so that they get residence. They don't come back to Africa. What is that? I hope we are not ready as Africans to rule ourselves. To me, I suggest one thing. If there is any way Professor can really add some voice, we need to wake up and have United States of Africa so that these other countries can work as states, so that there is someone on top there who can guide, and then we move far. He talked of the issue of experience. Today, when you talk of experience, I don't understand you. Because someone has worked in that position for a long time or is having what? No, experience without intellectual foundation is a problem. You can have experience, but if you don't have the intellectual foundation, you don't have all that to do the work. It's good. It's not good at all. You gave the example of these young people, the ministers who are coming. Look at we can even talk about France. The president, he came at the age of 40. Even Barack Obama, he came at the age of 50-something. So we cannot, having stayed in the position for a long time or having a connection to help you gain that status cannot head Africa anywhere. We need to come and work ourselves. Lastly, he talked about South Africa. It is true. Everything you see in South Africa is because of the white man. That's one I don't want to hide anything about it. So, I don't want to talk much, but I'm very happy you have given me space.
Of course.
We need to wake up as Africans. Other than that, we shall not head anywhere.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Greetings today, lovely Botswana. Just the name alone. And that's why I gave you that space, because we hardly would get calls directly from there at this hour because of the network. Thank you so much. Hello. We're taking the last one, Al, and then you round up. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, okay. This is Daudi from Tanzania. Thank you very much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum to Professor Faluk. I have a question, just one question. Yes, something very interesting happened in this coup, and I've been following up. Actually, I think it's said that actually voodoo and witchcraft has been actually applied in order to make this successful coup. So my question to the professor is, what role does he see that voodoo and witchcraft has in Africa in order to execute successful coup? The reason is a lot of coups have been failing, and we see voodoo and witchcraft actually could work. So I'd like to hear from the professor. What does he say? Is voodoo and witchcraft the right way? Does it work? And then, if possible, what would be the way to go about it so that we could, rescue our continent?
Okay.
Clear.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
I was waiting for that question for long, for real. I nearly missed that question, because that's where culture comes in, and the traditions and what we say. We're giving credit maybe to some other people, but actually it was culture that maybe did it. All right, so back to studio. Al, I know you should be very, very tired. Go ahead. Or you want me to pick this last one? Hello? Hey, is he there?
Studio.
Hello?
I know you should be very...
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Yes, Susan.
Yes.
This is my name is Cedric. I'm calling from the States, from the United States.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm just calling. I've just been watching your show, and I come in a little late, but I just wanted to tell you that I enjoy what you're doing, and I really hope that we can get this thing going and put Africa back where it belongs, and that's where we exactly what we have to do. Anything that I can do to contribute. I've been watching for maybe a couple months now, and I just really enjoy what you do. And if there's anything that I can contribute to help out, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll reach out to you. Of course, there's just a lot to do, and I would not even hesitate to ask. I would ask and ask and ask. You see what is going on the continent. Look at the millions of our young people out there. We have a lot to do, bro. I'll get back to you after the show, okay? Thank you so very, very much. Yes, at least for the first time somebody say, what can I do? Is there anything that I need to do? That's the questions you Africans should be asking. Us Africans should be asking, what should I do? What should I do? How can I contribute? What is it that I can make it work? Over to you, Art. Is he there? Yes, that's why I was talking, and I think his phone actually dropped him out. Wow. All right. As you can see, even our technique has been sleeping, and something went wrong, as I heard. I don't know what went wrong. And he is not there. We might be losing I think power or network or anything. Yeah. Okay, but we are rounding up because actually we are on time and really punctual. I wanted to say punklish of Deutsch. Yes, we're really punctual today, and you've contributed enormously. Let me just be picking the calls. If he comes back to take, that's fine. Hello?
Susan?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I think the call dropped, but I just called back. I think you were saying something, and I just wanted.
Yeah, I think we were just cut off. I don't know. Even Al is cut off. We just disconnected. I don't know what happened. Yes, but I think we were really rounding up to say I would get in touch with you after the show or in the next coming days, and let's put our head together and see what we can do together. Isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, sister.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Susan.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, thanks. Yeah, bye. Hello? All right. This one dropped. Okay, I think it is 2 minutes to, and we were really punctual on time. I want to thank all of you, all the callers. I'm really, really sorry that we can take all the calls today for one reason or the other. But you see, this is the energy. This is the energy that we all need to wake up. Maybe it's just like, after some time we're going to act and then go back to sleep, then another coup d'etat, and then we come again, or the murder one Africa, or something happened, and then we all gather again. It's like something has to shake Africa to wake up. But we're constantly saying, wake up, Africa, stay up. Don't be asleep. Don't be too deep asleep, okay? So let's just keep the momentum going. we'll be announcing in the next days. We're still going to keep on this topic of what is the way forward on the leadership of Africa. What is the form and the model that will really work for Africa? We already heard King Maponga. We already had the callers, even the one from the States and South Africa saying, or Tanzania saying, yes, what works for us? But we also had people who said, hey, come on, wait a minute. What is democracy? Government by the people for the people. But now, if it was that easy, like we just hear from the meaning, I think we would not be having all these coups, isn't it? What is it? It's an illusion? It's something that confuses? And it just says government by the people, by the people. What has ancient Africans been doing? Have they not been doing government by the people and serving the wish of the people? What is different about this? This is things we have to look deeply into it, right? Hello?
Yes, good night.
Good night.
Thanks for making this medium possible for us all to enjoy and to learn. But one thing I want to say about what the great speaker was saying tonight is that we need to, the young people themselves, the young Africans, those on the ground, they need to push these old guys out of their seats who are doing nothing for their countries, for their communities, for the continent on a whole. The young people of Africa, they are sleeping. They're allowing these guys to sit there and do nothing. Some of them are there vegetating for years. We need to the young people need to get up and move. That's all I want to say. One love, one bless.
Thank you so much. Blessings, bro. I wanted to say something. I hope you'll be listening to this. You know, like, I begin to ask myself, you know, this is an African space, Africa for Africans by Africans, and trying to seek these solutions. And when we say, and then I begin to like, it's like the children will wake up and then do what to their fathers? It's a family, Africans. And so what do we do with our elders? What happened? What went wrong? Why is it not functioning? We have to research into these things, put up our thinking cap, the list of the mistakes we should not do. What Africans should never do is to think that, you know, we should be against each other, like kick him out and take him out. What we're saying, yes, if it's not correct, we're going to fix it, or it has to be like this. But we should remember one quote. We're family. We're Africans. Nobody's going to fix that house for us, no matter how we're going to fight. We're just saying, oh, if my elder and my father doesn't do it right, and we see that some other person, but if it's that a wicked father, have wicked fathers, you know that. That wicked one that will say, no, until I die here, you're not going to get this inheritance. Then we are starting to figure out how is it that we can do it much better. If we were doing it in the way we were and our own things, would it be maybe so complex like this? Wouldn't we be sitting at the fireside in Guinea, CONAKRY, and the elders from whether it's ECOWAS, and they're sitting at the table and said, but what went wrong? How happened that the son would do this to the father? I mean, there's some norms and some steps that no matter how we want to jump and fly, no matter how agitated we are, we have to pipe down to ask, who are we? How do we solve our own problems? Yes, we're not going to carry the knife and say we're going after our fathers and our mothers. But of course, we're not also going to allow those kind of fathers that don't give the future that their children deserve. They don't even think that they're worth it, and you see them just amassing. No, we're also not going to say, Father, even though we love you so much, you're one of us, you're blood, you're everything. Something's going to change. Everybody has a right to live his own life that God has created. And so I want to thank all of you for your enormous contribution, for the energy, particularly, right? For the energy, for us to sit here. And I see a lot of people is like, yes, today is different. I think today is different because we've been more on lectures, because we're teaching ourselves, we're learning from one another. And so some of the time we just listen. But we're going to be doing what we know how to do, because every African is a teacher. Everyone has a story. All of us. Like we say, it takes a whole village to raise a child. So it takes all African to fix Africa. It's not going to be in the hands of those leaders. And how many are they? Can you just count? Even the government and everything, maybe 600 or 6,000. But how many of us are there? So the majority, the commons, we, the poor, we the poor people. And that's why we worry a lot, right? That's why we worry a lot. And we need to worry. Yes, we need to continue. So I want to wish you all a very, very, how do I wanted to say it in this kind of word that I don't, a very pleasant, let me be nice, a very pleasant evening. I want to wish you all, on the continent, in the diaspora, in Europe, in UK, wherever. I want to really, really apologize for the caller from Vietnam and Emirate. You tried and tried and tried, and each time I picked your call, it just disappeared. Try again. I see it was the image of a brother, but maybe it could be your wife or a sister or whatever. I appreciate you. We did not disrespect you. No way. It's all about technique. Yeah, so remember, we are here. Probably, I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow because we planned a team meeting, so we might not be live. But if we would not be, you would hear. But if you don't hear anything, we are going to be live here, same time, and we're going to open the calls. Those that didn't have the opportunity to voice out what they think, we're still going to dwell on the situation, because that's one of the fundamental things that we can leadership. Leadership. And how do we approach leadership? Culturally or foreign, or a mixture? How can we combine? It's also a possibility, right? So good night to all of us. We see ourselves again tomorrow. I wish you all a pleasant evening. Stay safe, loving us, uniting us, connecting us, and progressing for the love of Africa and humanity. Good night. We see us. Bye-bye. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.